Hello, beautiful people. This is Kim Jade, and we are right here in Times Square in the heart of New York City. And this is Kicking It with Kim Jade.
I be writing on my vibe. I don't need no cosign. Solo flying through the sky. Watch me go, I'm on time. I don't need nobody else.
On this season of Kicking It with Kim Jade, we are traveling all over America and South Africa, interviewing some of the most interesting personalities in music, in fashion, in art, and of course in sneaker culture.
I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the season finale of Kicking It with Kim Jade. We had to fly down to the 021 to interview the one and only, I feel like you're the unofficial mayor of Cape Town.
Could be.
YoungstaCPT in the building.
Salutas.
I feel like you need no introduction, but for our viewers from overseas, we're going to educate them.
Indeed.
A multi-award-winning songwriter, recording artist, businessman, entrepreneur. Also, like, I had a young role in Blood and Water.
Hey.
Actor on the
Hey,
CV.
small cameo, please.
Fashion designer, we're throwing that in there.
Might as well.
Welcome
Might as
to the
well.
show.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for having me.
Listen.
And this is a great moment also that you're doing it here.
Yes.
I think it gives us a lot more like originality and authenticity. You being here on the block with us in Wynberg, it's a privilege. The first thing I say when I came, thank you for gracing me.
It's great to be here in Wynberg. You've done tons of interviews where they profile you about your life and your career and how you got here. I'm good. If they want to see that,
Watch that one.
Watch that one.
Watch the old shit.
My whole chat is that we have so much gatekeeping still in 2025, especially in our industry,
No doubt.
about how we got to where we are. And for me, instead of you telling the whole story of how you got here, I would rather know maybe 3 key lessons. 3 key lessons and little pieces of wisdom that you can drop on to the next gen of people trying to be the next youngster CPT.
Oh, yeah.
And they can be hard lessons.
Yeah, they
Easy
are hard
ones.
lessons. That's kind of the
School of hard knocks.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's kind of the direction that you go in. I would say like lesson number 1 that I learned: no one's coming to save us.
Ooh.
Right? That's number 1. Lesson number 2, I would say, is build a team. Right? And if you are going to build a team, try and make it individuals that are like-minded and people that understand your mission, because we all have an objective when we're doing this, right? If your mission is to make the best twerk songs, then make sure your team understands that that's what it's
You
about.
gotta be passionate about ass shaking.
And,
Yep.
and they need to align you with brands that are passionate about ass
Yeah,
shaking
yeah,
as
yeah,
well,
yeah.
you know? And then number 3, I would say start now. Whatever time it is that you might be thinking of starting, this is it.
Yeah.
This is the moment right now.
100%.
Not tomorrow, not next month, not next year, not when you have a break or some gap in your schedule. Start now, even if it's a little bit every single day.
Yeah.
Write a line, write a verse, write a hook, write a song. Try, but just don't procrastinate too long because eventually it does pass by.
I would add to that, start now and put it out.
Yeah, and put it out immediately.
Put it out
Yeah.
now.
Get the feedback now, get the criticism now, let them remove that plaster now, feel that pain now, so that you also grow with it and develop that thick skin that you need in this
100%.
industry. Because it continues, it goes on, it doesn't end now that you put it out.
Now you're like, oh, I made it, everything is great. No.
You release a shoe with Reebok, it still comes in a different form now
Yep.
though. It comes in a different way, so you have to make sure you're prepared for this because it is a tough game to be in.
100%. You proudly rep 021. It's
sure.
obviously been consistent not only in your music and now obviously this amazing collaboration.
100%.
But what I love about you is that when you made it, when you became successful, when you got the money and now you got this fame, you're traveling internationally, you're like, I'm not moving. Wynberg is my home. Talk to me a little bit about that, because I think that's such a beautiful message.
Yeah.
A lot of people make it out the hood and they go to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You were like, I'm gonna do the opposite. Talk to me about that.
You know, the funny thing is, people that have come to our store, because we got the store in 2019, so it was also like the same year that we started to ascend kind of, and a lot of people that came here from abroad in 2019, we also lost the great Nipsey Hussle. And people that actually came to the store in that year, bear in mind this is the same year we got the shop. So people that came to the store immediately compared it to that, which was crazy for me. Yeah, which was crazy for me because I was like, yes, obviously I'm a big fan and I listened to his music growing up, but it's something I didn't want to outwardly say.
Wow.
So I never ever, from my own side,
made the association.
There we go. But everyone else did. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm not going crazy. So number one, I would say the community that he obviously tried to give back to and did give back to is also the role that I play in my own one. So if I could, just simplify it and compare it to something people have already seen,
Beautiful.
I would probably say, that's the objective, the mission statement of mine. That's quite similar. And it's not something that I took from anyone. It's something that I felt passionately about for myself. You've traveled also. You've heard how rappers speak about the neighborhoods, how the music also has championed the sound of the neighborhood and represented it, from Jay-Z talking about massive projects, Nas talking about Queensbridge, Mobb Deep with Queens. Like, it's always about the representation.
Yep.
That's what I learned in rap music growing up. It's always about where you're from. Tupac is California, love, Biggie, where Brooklyn, where Brooklyn. It's always about where you're from. Bone Thugs, Cleveland. Recently we saw the verses of New Orleans, which was Cash Money and No Limit. So it's like, it's always about the representation. So I was like, who would I be if I didn't come from here? This is actually the thing that separates me from every other rapper or musician in the world. So it was important for me to say it because it's actually my identity.
What's so cool is that it empowers people from different communities to also rep their own.
Yeah.
I think I'm very passionate about that, and I relate to what you're saying because
always
I'm
see you wearing your
Team Zimbra all day.
Jerseys,
and it was never
like,
popular. It was never popular to be from Zim. And to be
I don't know to be popular.
100%.
You kind of like pushed it.
And by doing that, we empower other people to also be proud of where they're from. It's like, yo, actually, it's fire to be different.
Yeah.
It's fire to be the underdog. It's fire to like own it. You know what I mean? Yes. Oh,
shout out to Kim.
Commonalities, I love that. I love that you actually started, we connected the dots between Cape Town and Zim, because obviously Cape Town and Zim, being colored and being proudly colored is a thing that I think both of us represent.
No doubt.
Right now, it's quite a hot topic with Tyla being one of the biggest stars in the world.
So hot.
What's your take on, first of all, Tyla's meteoric rise to fame, and also how she's handling the backlash and negativity that's coming with proudly owning the fact that she's a colored woman from South Africa?
No doubt. I would say it's long overdue, number one, that somebody from here, a woman as well, of our ethnicity has that opportunity. I feel like we had this several times though. I feel like there's been like 8 Tylers that have, been bubbling here. And they just make it to a certain thing,
and then it stops.
And then it stops, you know what I mean? Then we hear nothing. So I'm so glad that we got that moment, and I think she came in the perfect package as well. She had the personality, she's got the look, she can dance, she makes her own music.
The accent is thick as hell.
Accent is thick. She's also like, the sound is different to what they used to hearing in America. So that's cool that she had something that was totally original from A to Z. And the way she's handling the backlash, I mean, it's never an easy thing when people are constantly like dogging you in the comments or whatever.
For being yourself as well.
She spoke out in a way that was natural to her, but totally unknown to the rest of the world, basically. And it just goes to show us how far we still have to educate the world
100%.
about South Africa and Africa itself. I would say, like, give her some time, people. Just let the girl.
She's so young as well.
Let her get a rhythm, let her find her feet in this whole thing, and then she'll know how to articulate, something so big in terms of a culture and a representation that she has to now explain.
100%.
I don't think that was her plan when she started out.
She's like, I didn't plan on being the face of colored people all over Africa.
Because the funny thing is, when she was in South Africa, she was never asked that question.
Exactly.
As soon as she got to America, now it's the topic. Now we have to discuss it. Now we have to unpack it, which is a good thing. That now we can finally have this discourse, and we're seeing online, it's still a little bit more time is going to take to really get the information out there and explain how this all happened. But I think, as years go on, like I say, when she finds her voice, she'll know.
I agree, because there's no amount of media training that can, I guess, predict this is going to actually be a massive topic, to the point where other major artists like a Tiwa Savage are coming on Breakfast Club and apologizing for her saying she's colored, which is a whole other chat. But
I don't think the label was prepared.
No one.
I don't think the
management wasn't prepared.
No one was prepared for this part of it, you know. And it just goes to show that this has to be addressed before sometimes you can do the thing that you put there to do. Like with me, for example, I knew that I'm gonna have to sell CPT, and once I sell CPT, they're gonna ask me, but who are you in CPT? Because you don't seem to be speaking a vernacular language. You don't look like a white guy either. So where do you guys fall on the scale? You know, so I knew this is gonna be a conversation I'm gonna have to have. So I did it early.
Yeah, you preempted it.
I preempted it. So that when they ask, I can always be like, there's a track on this album, or there's a music video there, or I've said it in this interview there. So people always tell me like, you should be the guy to go to America. I'm like, but I'm doing it here. I'm doing the groundwork here now. Because even people in South Africa don't know what the colored person is. It's not just America having a hard time understanding this. Our own nation has a hard time understanding it, you know? So it starts at home, and you know, she's doing a great job over there.
Yeah, super proud of her. I think what it really shows is how America has, number one, they do have a strong voice.
Yeah.
We fully understand it. They've been almost leading culture. I know, because we growing up absorbed and took from and mimicked and whatever, what they do that side. And so their voice in the global conversation is loud. But it also shows that, I mean, they're crazy ignorant.
They're not always
uneducated.
They don't always have
and even
the
with
answers,
access to the internet, they don't know. So I think the responsibility falls on us, actually, to champion our context, to champion our communities, and to really actually tell that story more. Because you can't blame the American audience for not understanding something we don't talk about. We just assume. And it's like, even for me, I'm a colored, I'm from Zim. It's like, wait, what?
That's another explanation that you have to get into as well.
They're like, they have colored people there too? And I'm like, and I got that in Cape Town.
I was about to say, that's the first thing I thought when I met her. I was like, they don't have colored.
And they're like, do you call yourself a colored? I'm like, yes.
That's crazy. But
Exactly. So the responsibility actually kind of falls on us. We can't expect them to know if we're not talking about it and we're not creating the content and we're not having the conversations.
A lot of knowledge needs to still be imparted on our counterparts, you know. And we're here for it.
That's
why we're here.
And we're here for the conversation. I think that's a thing that maybe Tyla and her team could actually hold on, like, take and run. Instead of, don't ask me about being colored, it should be, ask me. Let me educate you.
Let me educate you.
Charlemagne. The reason that we are here truly celebrating this moment and documenting a moment in history is the official collaboration with Reebok 021 right here in Cape Town. This is gigantic, it's major. Obviously, I think we all know a lot about the AKA collaboration. Maybe some people don't know as much about the Neo Serati collaboration. He's an incredible designer that did a collab with Reebok celebrating Pride. And so Reebok has an amazing track record of celebrating South African creatives. I remember the Meek Mill one also back in the day, Cardi B. Yeah, but I'm saying for South Africa.
Yeah, for South Africa, of course.
It's like, they have Shaquille and AI, cool. In South Africa.
Homegrown.
We're adding YoungstaCPT to the list. So talk to me about how did this come about?
You know, I think I was headhunted by Reebok, to be honest with you. It came at a time probably when we were all in mourning as well, being that we lost the late great Super Mega AKA. And not necessarily that we needed to fill the void, but I think we just needed to literally fill the shoes. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a full circle moment, but also a bittersweet moment for me. I do feel a bit of sorrow for it as well, for the shoe, because this would have definitely been a conversation that I would have been on the phone for like an hour and a half, 2 hours with this man. Going back and forth about the finer details and crossing the T's.
I think he would have loved it. I think he would have loved it.
He would have been over the moon. So for me, I think it's like one of those things where I'm like, I know I'm doing it in honor of, aside from him, but just also for a community of people here who are also, you know, having my my heart at the moment, you know, because it's a tough time in Cape Town as well, and in the Greater South Africa too. But I think for me, I always take an opportunity like this seriously in terms of what story can I tell? Who can I pay tribute to? Who deserves to be honored now?
Sure, that's huge, eh? It's a massive...
Very, very big. I think one thing people should also take away from the shoe that I'm making is I could have just slapped my face on it and said, fuck everyone else.
Yep.
got the city, I could have just named it the
1000%.
CPT
Yeah.
and named it after me and
Yeah.
put my own
Put
face
your
on the
logo.
toe heel,
Yeah.
put my logo
Yeah.
everywhere, and it could have been very, very self-centered. But as I say, all my music is about paying tribute, paying homage, giving flowers, giving credit where it's due. And I knew that if I'm gonna do this now, and God forbid something happened to me that happened to him, or I don't get to do a second one for whatever reason, I'm just gonna go balls to the wall. I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna throw all the colors on it I want. Orange. People were saying that the orange is crazy. No one matches orange. No one wears orange that much. I was like, yeah, no, they're all right. They're all right actually about
They're
that.
gonna now, bro.
Yeah.
They're
They
gonna now.
got me on that one, but yeah, for me, I think it's just an opportunity for me to like express the creativity fully, you know, and also use it as a chance once again to shine the spotlight on a Cape Townian.
Yes.
Just a little boy out there who's playing in the park, running bare feet, who's, you know, saving up money, coupling for a Gatsby, all the Owens, you know, throwing in their coins, going to buy a date, going to buy a 2-liter jive, and then sitting under a shady tree talking about the latest news happening in the streets. So I'm thinking about that boy as well, and thinking about AKA at the same time. So how do I kind of like join that worlds together, you know? So Reebok would obviously be the pairing, the perfect pair, I would say, to bring that to life.
Yes.
And then they also gave me a lot of freedom, creative freedom to do my thing.
You are credited for actually designing
Yeah.
the sneaker and having a massive voice also in the apparel.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Talk to me a little bit about working with Ross Solomon. I love that you also tapped a local artist and creative to work with you. There's so many little nods to Cape Town when you look at the sneaker. So
Indeed.
talk to me a little bit about that.
So when I initially started with the conceptualization of it, like it was very animated. Where the graphics of the animation come from is actually taken from the idea of the ice cream shoe, which funnily enough is also a Reebok. So when I told them that, I was like, you know, you guys have done this before. Like it's not anything foreign from what you're so used to. It's just I'm gonna be putting it on a silhouette you guys wouldn't do that with. You know? So that was number one. Number two, as you can see just by the box, like I'm very into like graph culture. I think if I wasn't a rapper, a lot of people don't know this, maybe this I should have said as my, you know, did you know about in the Chappies bubblegum little thing. I would have probably done art instead of music.
Interesting. Oh, you're any good though?
I was.
Okay.
I actually designed the YGN logo. That's me that did it.
Oh, that's fire.
Yeah, it's on the cap.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was very big into art, into drawing, illustrations, animation. Like that's my thing. That's my bag. And our mode of transport when we were young, we were across the road from the station. I'll mention that again later on. But the train.
Yeah.
So when we'd be on the train, as you're speeding through all the stations, when it stops, sometimes you'd see graffiti on the Wynberg and in the subways and on the train itself and in the carriages. So I'd be surrounded by graffiti constantly. And I think that's where the love of the drawing came from. And then obviously we grew up watching like, you know, Wild Room, the Disney cafes, and then, you know, later came the KTV with the decoder, the Mnet decoder. And then we got DSTV later. It's like the stages of life.
The evolution.
The evolution of television. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So I feel like those things also help me like have a very wild and vivid imagination as to like what's possible. You know, like, ooh, I can become a cartoonist. I remember when I was young, I wanted to be a cartoonist for the newspaper. Like I wanted to do the Garfield cartoons at the back. I just wanted to do the colors for it. It was always black and white. I was like, why is there no color?
Yeah.
These things need color. Man,
yeah.
It's cartoons, baby. so that was my thing. And the fact I got to like kind of like splash out on a shoe. You know, and when they first gave me the blank canvas kind of, it was a blank page with a picture of the pumps, and they said, yeah, you can color in however you see fit. And with Ross also, he's such a talented illustrator that everything I was saying, like if I mentioned like, oh, just imagine putting a Gatsby on the shoe. Oh, what if we put like the arcade games, the two-bob games, like the joystick, like what if you put that on the shoe? He was there with me every step of the way, you know? And he even added things to it that I was like, oh wow, it looks 10 times better than what I thought it would look like in my head. So that's the power also of like collaborating with somebody that has the you know, kind of the same insight as you. He gets it. I didn't have to say much, you know? And Reebok, like I said, giving me the freedom kind of like go crazy with my crayons and stuff. Like that was also a big part of it. And then already YGN has been known for making our own merch all the years, basically. I started in 2010 printing t-shirts just on a heat press. I printed like 20 tees just for the crew to wear so that we could show up to our shows looking like a unit.
Like a team.
Because one thing I had noticed when I started rapping, a lot of the photos that were coming out of me that photographers would take at shows, I'd always be wearing another label. I'd be wearing someone else's surname. Whether it's a basketball vest, whether it was a swoosh tee, like anything I'd be wearing would never represent myself. And I didn't like that the pictures I was posting, this is early Facebook
Was
years.
pushing other people's brands,
There
other
we go.
people's names.
Things that had already been established
Yeah.
and already been known. And
they don't know
famous.
who you are.
And they didn't know who the hell I was. You know?
Yeah.
So I was like, damn, I need something that is reflective of me and what I do and who I am. And how I came up with the logo was very simple. Wu-Tang at a W, Rough Riders at a R, Cash Money at a dollar with a line through. I was like, okay, it has to be the first letter more or less of the name. So I was like,
Figured it out.
all these other guys got the
They're
first
doing
letter of the
it.
name.
It looks good.
Looks good. Let me think of it. So I was like, Youngster Pop, it's a Y. And then when I wrote the Y, I was like, it can't just be a Y. And I was like, why? Yeah, why do we ask this? Why do you do that?
Fire.
Why are you working? Why are you studying? Why? So I was like, yeah, it's a commonly asked question. It's like the one question through life you're never gonna get stopped asking.
Wild.
They're always gonna ask you, because they always say, so what's the why? You know, what's the intention? Why did you start doing this?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, why? With a question mark. And we're always questioning everything in life constantly until the day we get buried. It's gonna be like that. One of my favorite villains from Batman was the Riddler. Love the Riddler. And his logo was the question mark.
Yeah.
He's the only brat to almost defeat Batman also. He hijacked Batman's lair and then turned the bat symbol into a question mark.
Fire.
So I was like, yeah, it's a Y and a question mark, that's it. And the fact we managed to carry it through the years, because I was competing with brands that were way more established than mine in the beginning. So people really didn't know I was making clothes. It was literally only for like us, you know, to wear and to kind of just show up and have like, oh, these guys all look the same, they're matching.
Yeah.
What is this, you got served?
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, just to have something that kind of makes us look like an army. And after a while, people thought, yeah, where can I get these t-shirts? You guys sell these t-shirts? We used to do pop-ups, little rails. We'd sell out of the booth. I'd do little CD signings at different places, and we'd have like a batch of teas also for sale. We'd have bucket hats. We even made socks recently in the COVID year. So I think that each phase of establishing ourselves as like a clothing brand has kind of brought up like a new item that saved us, so to say, you know? So whether it would have been a vest or a cool shorts everyone liked, or when we did the multi-print, like the LVs, where we just did Ys all over the place, and everyone liked that. We're like, oh, we should make more of those. So it's always trial and error.
Yeah.
But I think getting here to this point now, where it's kind of like well known that I've always had my own brand or own brand name. Now you're selling a shoe. Shoes sell themselves though. So I wouldn't have to do that much work on it. And it's the pump. So it kind of like has this whole
Iconic.
legendary status that I'm
Yes.
just adding to really. But I think now when I get to this level and do something of this scale, I realize that, looking at all that graffiti on the trains, drawing on my clothes when I was young, watching cartoons, it all was significant. I just didn't know.
Amazing.
Because people were telling me that's silly, or how can you put orange there, or how can you do this, and how, you know, why would you color it in like that? Now I sit back and I think, all of that was like just a build-up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a long road, but eventually you do get to some sort of a destination.
100%.
This is one of them. This is one of
Yeah.
the destinations I always wanted to get.
Fire. I'm so glad you touched on the pump, because I think it's important to establish the significance of the silhouette and the fact we were saying off camera, you specifically chose this shoe.
Indeed.
They were pushing for another shoe that they know this will sell. This is safe.
Yeah.
We've done this before.
this
it
before.
works.
Everyone loves
And you
it.
were like, nah. It's so on brand for you.
Yeah, it is. I was
It's
gonna
so
say
on
that.
brand.
You know, pushing the envelope is something people say, but something people also scared to do.
100%.
You know? And I feel that in what we do, it's always been untraditional. It's never ever followed the mold. Our music has never ever been like the #1 mainstream song in the world, streamed all over Africa and stuff. We've never actually had those moments. So being that we've always kind of marched to our own drum beat, this is just one of those times again where we have to do that, you know, because as you say, it's on brand for me. So being kind of the odd one out is my brand. Being the guy on the unconventional route, that is who I am. I'm not supposed to be with everyone else. I'm not supposed to be in the A class. I'm supposed to be in that class of like the reject guys. But even in the class of the reject guys, there's a student there that flourishes.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The underdog.
The underdog.
I love
Perfect.
it. I love it. And also, it made so much sense when we saw the shoe. I was like,
This
makes
looks like
sense.
this looks like
It
he
cannot
would
be
wear
a
this.
classic.
No,
There's no way.
Then I wouldn't be true to what I've established over all these years. You know, people know me for a certain way of being and of dressing and of styling myself. I've always been like into like high top sneakers, basketball sneakers. It's always been like a tribute to the hip hop I grew up listening to, dressing like that, emulating that look. So the fact that I've managed to create something that
Crazy.
also looks like that, but also in the modern day we could, include ourselves.
It's such a fresh take.
It's a blessing.
I was researching the shoe and it's like 1989, the Reebok pump dropped, right? And it was selling for retailing at 170. Back then, before we were even born, is insane.
Even if I see a shoe for $170
now, you're like,
I'm like, no.
Think about it.
I actually have to think about it.
Yeah.
I have to do like a lap around.
Do I really love it?
Because I'm calculating numbers. I'm thinking about the rent. I'm thinking
Yeah.
I'm like, do I need this
Also
shoe?
now you're buying diapers. The
Yeah.
chats are different.
I'm just looking at my cupboards, but I don't need this shoe.
Yeah.
Maybe I could sell those and buy
You know
these.
what's so fire about the history of the pump is that the then rookie Shaquille O'Neal had his own version of the pump, and it was called the Shaq Attack 1.
Ooh.
And he was a rookie player wearing the pump, and people were like, what is that? And so it's so fire. And now look at the full circle. Shaquille O'Neal and AI are at the top of Reebok,
True.
and YoungstaCPT is
good
doing
Lord.
the pump. It's just so major how that is all becoming like all the dots are connecting. Cry. O21, crazy collaboration, making history. 500 pairs, so it's very, very limited. We can't not address the fact that there was controversy and scandal around the very first collaboration, the sneaker with AKA and Reebok. What did you learn from that maybe informed your discussions when working with the brand?
Yeah.
Because that kind of advice can really help the next athlete or rapper or whoever that's going into these conversations, because you can't Google, how do I negotiate with this brand? Do you know what I mean? To not get screwed over. Do you know what I mean? So talk to me about that.
The first thing I would say to anybody that's, handing over their intellectual property to a big company.
Your name and likeness.
Your name and likeness, your brand name, your energy also and your efforts. The first thing I would say is make your intentions clear.
Yes.
Of what it is that you want to achieve out of it, And I think for Reebok also, this was more of a learning curve for them, to deal with a personality and such a star of that magnitude, and maybe the intention wasn't set out clearly from the start.
Yeah.
So the understanding might have been a bit
Fair.
confusing for both parties involved. And I think by the time now you get to me, because they can obviously rectify
They've learned
now going through the fire, they've been like, okay, from the start, we need to position it from how are we both going to be satisfied with a win-win situation. So I think when I walked into the office already, they probably knew like, hey, this guy has his own company running, he's got his own brand
His
running,
own team.
His own team, he's been independent for going on 15 years.
He knows apparel.
He knows
what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing. So let's let him lead the conversation in this one.
100%.
So I think for me coming into the meeting already, it was very, very, I don't want to say easy, but it seemed a bit more chill in terms of like where we were going to take things. It was always on the table to make a shoe. It's always been in our discussion. So I think that it was a bit more of a enjoyable experience for me. No bad blood, no complaints really afterwards. If anything, at this point I should be having a head at the seat here, of Reebok's table, because this is something that we kind of formulated from things that we had done in the past, printing the t-shirt, selling it out of the booth, having little rail sales here and there, small ranges, once-off things that we did, so making it exclusive, making it limited. This is something we do on a yearly basis. Every year we've been making things that only come out once. Sometimes if I see people walking past and wearing something of mine, I can tell what
Which year? Like
you've
that's
been
a real
listening
one.
since 2017. You've been listening
Shout
since
out.
2015. So it's a nice way to also keep track of your fan base, your loyalty as well. So I think with brand loyalty and that we established, to then combine with Reebok and also coming as a classic brand and how well they've managed to stand the test of time, I think that us just merging and coming together is something that was a no-brainer, very easy. As I said, I don't want to use the word easy, but it just felt natural for me to do this, and I didn't have any constraints. I didn't have much pullback or red tape, anything I had to like sign off with them. They were like, yo, you want to put a Gatsby on the shoe? Put the Gatsby on the shoe.
Love it.
You want to put a train on the shoe? You want to do cake flats? You want to do this? You want to do that? Go ahead. It's all on you.
More power to the brand. I think it
No
takes
doubt.
self-awareness as a brand to identify another brand, because you are a brand that they are partnering with. It's not a, shameless. It's like, no. This is an established personal brand that we get to go into a partnership with and give him the creative freedom, because when you do that, when you get a brand that's smart enough to get it, it speaks in the apparel, it speaks in the, I'm so excited for people to be able to see it and touch it and buy it. And the fact that the sneakers are limited is, oh, cherry
We love
on
a
top.
limited edition.
I love a limited, I love
we
an
love
exclusive.
knowing that not everyone is going to.
Then you gotta
Yeah.
arrive up at a joint and there's not 10 other people wearing panda dunks. You're like, guys, you know what I'm saying?
You know the one thing I realized? Like when they told me there was 500, it's only coming out here, I thought, wow, so I'm gonna go to America in these.
One of one.
And they're gonna ask me,
What are those?
where
That's
did you
the
get
best
that?
question
And I'm gonna
as a
be
sneakerhead.
I'm gonna be the Brian in the States with the pump that no one else
Yeah,
has.
and they're like, what are those?
So South Africa, I want you guys to know we looked out for you on this one. We did this
Crazy.
for you. It might be called the 021, but the 021 encompasses everyone. So this is something I did purely for us to have some representation in the sneaker
It's
world
huge.
as well.
My closing question we ask every guest, what is the legacy you hope to leave behind? And I think now being a father yourself, reflecting on life, also having lost someone that was such a mentor and an incredible figure to you and your grandfather, it's like you start to reflect on life and you start to reflect on legacy. What is the legacy you as YoungstaCPT hope to leave behind?
Sometimes I think they're gonna remember me as a martyr, but as a martyr it means I have to die for the cause. Now, it's not necessarily saying that I'm gonna go out in the blaze of glory because no one is, opting for that. But in some way, I believe because I had to come out first, right? Because I was the first one from my generation, from my race of people that spoke about what I spoke about and spoke about it unapologetically as well. So in many ways, a lot of the first arrows, in example to Tyla as well, going overseas and also once again being the first one and taking the arrows, it was one of those duties. I knew that doing this is going to hurt me as well, but it's also going to make me an icon. It's going to make me a legend doing this, right? But I don't want to say it about myself because that's not what we do here. I feel like my legacy is definitely going to be something that's going to be unprecedented. It's also going to be something that's going to be unchallenged. People are going to try and rival it and challenge it, and I want them to, because that's why I set the standard so high, so that we don't reach for mediocre. I don't want mediocre to be our level of success anymore. I want us to try and reach beyond that. I don't want us to try and rap like the guys here. I want us to compete with the best rappers in the world. I don't want us to try and make clothes like, not necessarily what we are going for here. I wanted to make it the same thing that we idolized when we were growing up, but from a local standpoint. So even though I say martyr, I know in many ways I'm going to be the first, I'm going to be an original. I just want to be remembered as a pioneer, man. I want to be remembered as somebody who was selfless. I did this for myself, definitely, but I also did it for a community of people that were silenced and kept in the dark for a long time. So the voice of the voiceless, speaking up for people that never always got the opportunity to do so. You speak about my grandfather, and I'm sure your parents as well felt that kind of restriction and constraint back then. Having being in Zim as well, experiencing the same harsh realities of South Africa in those years. So for all those that never got the opportunity, for all those who didn't get to scream loud from the hills who they were, that's why I'm here. I'm just reincarnated in all those people. I'm the revenge of Cape Town. I'm taking back what was supposed to be given to us. I think for me, being in this position now, I don't take it lightly. I don't take it for granted. I'm very grateful every single day that I get to do this. And now that I have, a successor to what I'm doing, I go even harder now. I believe in myself even more now because I know there's a new life that depends on me to make a success of what I do. So as long as I'm remembered for doing something that was a public service almost, I'll be satisfied.
I think you won't say it, but we can say it. We can say that you are an icon. You did make history. You continue to, not only with the collaboration, but with everything you're doing in music, what you stand for. You make colored people proud to be colored. It's not just like, and what's associated, even back home, it's like, only what's associated with us is people getting drunk, living for the weekend, young girls getting pregnant, crime. It's like, actually, both of us, I would say, stand for something more. It's excellence, and we can. Excellence, honey.
On that note.
Yes. On that note, it's a wrap. Thank you so much for watching Killing It with Kim J. Thank you for joining me on the season finale. And congratulations. Thanks for the shoes, though.
You deserved it. You deserved it, Kim, for doing what you're doing, for flying the flag high, for keeping South Africa on people's minds. You deserve it.
Salute. Thank you so much.
Away.
And we are.